With Showunmi Imodu and TVC Adeoye in our Abuja studio. Good morning, Showunmi. Good morning, TVC. What's happening in Abuja?
Good morning to you. Like as usual, Abuja looks cool this morning, and everywhere looks calm.
Yeah, as usual.
As usual.
Activities are beginning to pick up after the holidays, and people are getting back to work. It's good to see that everybody is back at their desks and work begins.
Now, hello everyone. We are live from Abuja studio in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, and today we will be examining the critical role of opposition in Nigeria's democracy and its contributions to national development. Are you aware that democracy thrives on the principles of checks and balances, and one of its cornerstones is a vibrant, constructive opposition? In Nigeria, opposition parties and their representatives play a pivotal role in shaping governance and ensuring accountability at all levels. And the opposition is also essential for healthy democracy. It acts as a watchdog, ensuring that government remains accountable and transparent. Beyond criticism, it also offers alternative policies and solutions.
While the opposition role is to challenge and question, it also fosters collaboration when national interests are at stake, emphasizing unity over partisanship. Despite its crucial role, Nigeria's opposition faces challenges such as limited resources, political intimidation, internal party crisis, and restricted access to the media. However, a robust opposition remains fundamental to sustaining Nigeria's democracy and driving national development. And to bring us up to speed on the roles of the opposition parties in a democratic setting like Nigeria is the former People's Democratic Party governorship candidate in Ogun State, Otunba Showunmi. Thank you for joining us on the program today.
Good morning, guys. It's nice to see you. Let me first of all say congratulations on your studio in Lagos. The little bit I've seen, I can't wait to see it.
Well, you should pay us a visit.
You should be there.
I will, I'll try.
Now, let's talk about your recent visit to the National Secretariat of the SDP alongside the former governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, to review, the opposition's democratic engagement in Nigeria. What are the possible outcomes of that strategic meeting?
Wow, I like the way you asked it. I think that if we're to sustain democracy, we have the responsibilities as Nigerians to fashion out our own characteristics of this democracy. Because if you go around the world, you will find out that each person's democracy is slightly different from the other person's democracy. We have taken the American route, which is multi-party presidential system, but we're not American. So we're going to deal with the specific characterization of the Nigerian people. And in that regard, for opposition politicians and opposition element in the present dispensation of APC, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led federal government, the first thing we need to first of all accept, which we are accepting now, is that our work is cut out for us. President Bola Tinubu is the first real politician that has won an election and is president. President Obasanjo couldn't call himself a politician, he's a soldier. President Buhari couldn't call himself a politician, he's a soldier. Jonathan really couldn't call himself a politician like that. He just came in over the misery of others. But Bola Tinubu is a politician. So if we're to engage him and if we're to ensure that he doesn't run away with the jar, the cookie pot, and the cookie itself, we must have a way to bring quality minds to think about this democracy vis-a-vis how does opposition play. Now, if you observe, I had created a platform called The Alternative, which I had been saying it's not enough for us to say we don't agree with everything. We now need to be a bit more pragmatic, open up our minds to begin to review whatever it is that government is doing so that we country can make progress. The noise has to come down a little bit, and then we'll have to put our eyes on the ball. So what happened with the SDP visitation with my friend, the chairman of the party, His Excellency Gaban, is that he is also a long-time politician like me. We've been in PDP together. And it was the beginning of the year. It was such an ingenious idea from him. And that's why you have to have brilliant minds leading party. He thought it through that, look, it's the beginning of the year. Why don't I invite some passionate Nigerians who are interested in the progress of the country, and let's just banter, greet ourselves, and see where the discussion will flow. And that's what you got there. What can be expected of it? When politicians begin to greet themselves, something is in the offering. Exactly. There are those who like clandestine meetings in the night, like sneak about like rats, but they're the bold element like us, people like Nasiru, myself, and the people that are very bold. We can own whatever it is that we're doing because we're not breaking any law. And in that context, we may find this capacity and the gravitas to morph political parties together and run and face the incumbent, especially because if you look around, there is a tendency for people to believe that there's a voice or hand of Jacob, voice of Esau scenario happening with the destabilization of the main parties. Let's start with NNPP. For no reason, they have only one state called Kano, and yet you see the elements that are, leaders of their party at some level, arms in gloves, fighting the only place where they even have some traction. Take a look at Labour. I mean, with due respect to them, they existed, but not in the manner that Peter Obi made them, become a force. But yet, if you imagine, he's the one that even has the biggest problem with the way they're even trying to manage the place. And I would not be kidding you if I say the PDP is not in a morass, moving all over the place like oil on water, just floating without form and stabilization. So when you see all of that happening at the same time, and the ruling party, the APC, doesn't call link meeting, doesn't do anything that is like political engagement at the party level, and yet they're just smiling and just gangling away, and you say, hey, what's going on there? So that kind of thing can bring us to a point where we're saying, let's find a common ground, let's look at the platforms, let's go and re-engage the Nigerian people on this democracy, and let's see what we can get. So it's possible that if the people in the villa, if they need to be scared, they should be worried, they should be scared. Okay. You have to look at where the numbers are. Anybody who takes Nasiru for granted is just a hater. You can't take him for granted. His energy level, his passion level, his capacity to just keep going at it and using science. If you take me for granted, you joke too much.
But Shegun, at the center of all this alignment and realignment of political forces,
conversation, yes,
is the 2027
of course
election.
Of